Spencer Lewis here for InsideTrackNews.com. I'm with the number 63 machine, formerly representing Moss Sport Speedway, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I guess you're kind of like a man without a country now. It's JBJ, John Baker Jr. of the Thunder Car Division. And Junior, you had not the 2013 season you were looking for. Engine woes on the opening night of the CTMP season relegated you to a 4th place finish in the points, but you picked up a few feature wins, so all in all, not a bad year for the 63 team.
Yeah, a bit of a confidence builder too, because Peterborough asked me to leave because I was too fast once, and Kawartha asked me to leave because I was too fast there too, and then Mossport had to rip the place up to get rid of me. So I mean, looking at it from that point of view, it's pretty good pump up in a way, but I definitely will miss Mossport. JP's changed this thing around here a lot, and he's trying real hard to get these Thunder cars back, and hopefully we can blend in with this. As far as that goes, we bought this car off Amanda Connolly after I destroyed my poor car into the fence there at Kawartha, which was very sad. I actually cried. And now I know how people feel when they lose some stuff that's really important to them. I'd never lost a car like that before. It was sad, but bought this off Amanda. We converted it back, cut a bunch out of the back of it, turned it into a leaf spring car, made it all match the Camaro factory specs, cut the front clip about 3/4 off it, put factory mounts back on the top, went through the whole big rig and roll, turned it back into a Thunder car. Then we rebodied it, but because I'm a bit of a bugger, rebodied it all in steel except for the front fenders and painted it to match the fiberglass stuff just to mess with everybody. And it's been pretty quick. We still run an automatic. We're still just running the 350 Chev motor. We're not doing anything too cool. We got the Ford 9-inch in the back on leaf springs, and I'm just having a ball with it. It seems to like me. I remember back in the end of the 90s, I guess I'm aging myself being old, but we ran a leaf spring car back there, and I remember doing good with that, and I like that. And this track seems to really like leaf springs, and hopefully they can combine the rules or give me a small, not so huge list of stuff to change to fall in place with the cars that are here, and we'll come here next year and just have a ride up here. That's kind of the plan.
As of right now, how substantial is that list that Peterborough was initially looking for you to change to race here full time?
In reality, it's not much. It's we got shocks, which hopefully they'll change the rule this winter. I'm going to try and lobby for that. We got shocks, ride height, track width, front fenders, because I got plastic, need to be steel, and exhaust. But they did make concessions for ram horn cars this year for a car that ran here already, so there's a possibility I could just blend the exhaust right in and save the time and money on that.
Now, the Thunder Car division as a whole, I know you've done some work in the mini stock division. You were real good in mini stock. You've been fantastic in the Freeman Motorsports limited late model, but really your entire career you've identified as a Thunder Car guy. You've been loyal to this division. Where do you see this class headed in, let's say the next 5 years? Are we just going to keep progressing, because it seems as though every season we're just getting closer and closer to the limited late model division with these Thunder cars or super stocks?
Unfortunately, Spence, I hate to say it, but I think you're dead wrong. We keep changing the bodies on them and unfortunately confusing the spectators and fellow racers. But ultimately, track width, ride height, suspension stuff, lower control arms, yeah, you can relocate the shocks and stuff now, but I think deep down inside, these things are still pretty close at heart. And all these cars are getting so rotten and so hard to find. Everyone's always talking about the newbie or the guy who's going to drag a car to the barn. That guy who's going to drag his car to the barn, he left mad. He's mad at something. He ain't never coming back to race again. So that barn car everybody thinks is going to drag out and magically come out and whoop everybody, he don't count. I hate to say it, if you're one of those guys and you're mad at me for saying that, it's the way it works. Them barn cars are going to be barn cars till somebody else buys them, and hopefully we can sucker them into coming and racing with us. But until that, it's going to be a barn car. So I don't think they've changed as much underneath as everybody thinks. Are
you a supporter of the new McCall Racing Enterprise fabricated metric clip car that Caden Lapsovich and Todd Davenport have ran this year?
No, I am not. I had my mind set on buying one. I went to the shop on a cool day. They had an amazing event. I had my mind set on buying one and I looked at the car. I noticed a couple of things that I didn't like about it. I inquired about it and found out that the header rule, the exhaust rule wouldn't work, and got told that they were going to lobby to change the exhaust rule. And that's just what I need. Some track that I got to lobby to bring my car to. So no, I'm not into that one. Although on the flip side, I could buy every piece of that car, bring it home, lay it on my stuff at home, weld it all together. So what am I going to end up with? I'm going to end up with the same car I got now for a whole bunch of money. They sell the cars complete, they sell the cars in pieces. They're trying to find a niche for the market where the cars are all rotten, which is great, but in the same token, there's still going to be the guy who wants to take a stock rail chassis, start from scratch, and try and put together a car. And I will do if any guy out there who's got one of those cars is looking for any advice or help, I will try anything to help that guy out. But I hate to tell them that building the car on the floor in your garage, unfortunately, is getting harder and harder to get it done once you get here, because guys are doing way cooler stuff. The tires, they last a lot longer, but they're harder to read. Everything has just evolved in that aspect of it, that yes, the build it in the garage car is getting harder and harder to win lots of races with.
So would you, with saying that, would you disagree then with the folks that are saying that eventually everyone's going to have these fabricated metric cars? You know, if you go a decade down the road, if the Thundercar division is still around, is that where the division's headed? Is that the future of the class?
Well, unfortunately, I think yes, and I would hope to say no, but I think yes, and strictly by the fact that I wrote my metric car off on Friday night. I had the opportunity to buy 5 different retired late model cars before Monday morning, and I chose Amanda Connolly's car because I get along with them great, and that seemed like the deal for me, and no offense to anybody else. And in buying her car was the only way to do it for reasonable money. I had found 2 metric chassis cars that were run at different tracks as just rollers. The guys want like $5,800 for it. So I'm gonna pay $5,800 for that, or I'm gonna pay substantially less for a used late model and convert it. You might as well just do that.
Now, so I'm going to put you on the spot right now because I know that you keep pretty close tabs on this division. In your opinion, as both a fan and a competitor, who are your top 3 right now in the Thundercar division province-wide? If you can pick 3 drivers, who's your top 3 right now?
Oh, I got Rossnell for sure. I mean, that guy, he's good. He's quick. 30, Davenport.
Todd Davenport, yep.
Yeah, oh, man, I like running him, and he's good. And then number 3, the 13 car out of Ottawa.
Todd Musker,
yeah.
Capital City champion. I think he's probably one of the more underrated guys in the province as well.
We had a bunch of fun in the chase, and I got up on the top of him, and he realized I was a little bit quicker at that point in the stages, and he jumped in line behind me, and I knew what his plan was, and I was just hoping I had enough to stay ahead of him, and then he got tore up in some lap traffic and had to start at the back again. But I mean, it was good for me, bad for him.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you won the chase for the colors. 4th in points in Mosport. I think that doesn't really reflect the type of season you had. If it wasn't for the engine problems on opening night, you certainly would have been a contender for the championship that Howie Crow won.
Howie Crow did a great job. 4th in points for me was awesome. We were like last at the end of the first night, and we won enough to work our way back up to 4th. That's pretty cool. I'll take a top 5 in anything after having a bad day and only getting 8 opportunities or something to try and rectify it. So it was still a great year for me.
I know it's not possible without an army of support and a lot of sponsors. Thank the people that make it all of it possible for you.
This is amazing. I couldn't do this without my wife. First of all, she puts up with so much crap at home. She's an amazing woman. Drives the cars, drives the trucks, drives the motorhome, works on stuff. She's unreal. My wife is, I got the best wife out there. Everybody else is kind of screwed. Sorry, guys. But I got to thank all my sponsors as well. I got John Baker's Auto Service, John Baker's Auto Service, Fatherham Bookkeeping. I got the Marksman Club. It's an indoor family fun shooting facility. I got the Oshawa Hearing Aid Clinic, Ray's World of Vending. I think I got everybody, and if I missed you, I apologize. And I got all my guys. I got Kevin, Greg, Robbie, my buddy Dave, everybody, just my guys that work so hard on this thing and work on this thing all the time. Probably got 20 or 30 hours into it from the last night we raced it at Mosport just to bring it out here and see what we had.
I gotta tell you, man, this might be my favorite interview of this year at least. This has been the most fun I've had. It was a good 8 minutes. I appreciate the time. Best of luck at the Autumn Colors Classic, and best of luck heading into 2014. Hopefully you can find a home here at Peterborough and give these guys a run for their money.
That's kind of the plan. I hate to tell JP I'm trying to ruin his car count, but I think we're pretty much officially going to come here next year. And we built a pit cart and got our program. We're trying to get our 50-lap program better, and I would absolutely love, I promised a good announcer that I know that I would make it to a track he announces at, and I lied to him, and I didn't mean to. Stuff came up and it didn't work out, and I'm going to try my best to get there next year and try and hold up my promise a year late, but I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure he forgives you.
I hope so.
He's a pretty understanding guy.
I hope he is.
There you go, folks. Driver number 63 Thundercar here at Peterborough Speedway. It's John Baker Jr.